Okay, we'll give this another try. I somehow lost the connection, so I'm not really sure what happened. We did have this happen once before. So hopefully we've got a good wide angle. You can kind of see what I'm working with. All right, so welcome everyone. Sorry about that. So inconvenient for you to have to hop back on, but I'm hoping that this is a good angle. I was trying to get it to tilt up a little bit when I lost the connection, and a little angle upright would really do perfect. So I had it set then, but when we lost connection, that's what happened. You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go barefoot. That might give me just the perfect height. Okay. It's so great to be back in the kitchen with all of you. I'm so happy that you've joined us. And we are live, so welcome. And this is the show, Come Cook With Me. My name is Laura Hall. And I'm so thrilled that you're here joining us. And today we are making an incredible dish. And we are going to go ahead and do it with the Instant Pot, and we're going to do it with the slow cooker as well. And I'm just going to move this out of the way. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do that with the slow cooker as well. So as you come on, don't forget, thank you for the love. Thanks for saying hello. If I looked at I'd be able to see who it was. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Tina, great to see you. I think you guys are going to just absolutely love this soup. It's called Negative Calorie Soup. And I kind of said to people I would share the story behind it. I've got a little water here on the sink. Hold on one second. Just want to get that up because I have an electrical cord there. So it's called Negative Calorie Soup, and it's called that for a reason. So the concept behind negative calorie foods is that it takes more energy to actually to digest and kind of work through. And so the concept of all of the vegetables that I've picked for the soup, it just works really beautifully that way, and you know, the combination of everything. So I did a lot of prep work, but I didn't get all of the prep work done. So today you're going to have a little bit more of time to share with me. And as you have questions, I will try, if you do a thumbs up or share some love, I will try to answer them as I see them. But it's very difficult for me to see them from this distance. So we'll just give you that. We are going to be doing the Instant Pot. So I've got my Instant Pot right here, and it's ready to go. And then I've got my incredible, beautiful Crock Pot Slow Cooker right here, okay? And so I'm gonna talk a little bit about the fact that if you don't want to make this like a negative calorie soup, you can actually add some of your favorite meats to it. It turns out great. You can put a couple of noodles in, and you can add some chicken in. You can add some quinoa in. Again, I'm choosing not to do that because what I'm going to start to do, and then we'll be doing this at the end of the show. I'll tell you how and when we're going to be doing it. We're going to be teaching you a few more things throughout the week. It's my goal to try to come on more than once a week. I've had such a great response, and I've had a lot of requests to talk about, you know, why not make some of the things that you're making for like your healthy snack during the day. So many of you know I have a beautiful and incredible nutrition program, and you know, we have what's called a fork and knife meal, and I don't pick too many recipes for the fork and knife, although some of them that I have cooked in the past have reflected that. But so I thought what would be nice to go ahead and do is throw in, as I was getting some of those comments, is throw in some snack ideas, really quick ones of what you can make when you're on this journey and on this system, on this nutritional program that we have. So that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna come out soon. So hang with me on that. So again, if you're just joining us, just say hello and where you're hailing from, because if you do that, you have enter a chance to win one of, well, a couple of prizes. But the major one is when you just say hello where you are, you get into a random generator and you get entered to win our Dano spices. Now our Dano spices are amazing. They are so incredible. They're no MSG, no GMO, no no sugars, no additives. I mean, they are phenomenal. They are coming out of Kentucky, Kentucky proud. Woo, woo. And they're from Dan Oliver. He is on our team, and that's why they call him Dan-O's. He's just the most amazing chef, and he's so fun. But he's designed these. He's created them. And Dan-O, if you ever come on while I'm live, you need to share how you've done it. But they're low sodium, 0 calories, huge, robust flavor. I've got to tell you, they're just incredible. But what I love is no MSG, and I love that they are gluten-free, and there's no sugar and no GMOs, how they actually are prepared. And so there's a little bit of spicy version, and then a traditional, just wonderful. So if you say where you're from in the comments and say hello, you get a chance to be a part of earning these. So we have a winner from last week's show, so I'm going to share that with you. Last week's show, random generator picked up Lisa Atkinson Job. So Lisa, I will send you a message, but if you're watching now or you catch it a little bit later because you're not live with me, if you just send me a private message and send me your address, that would be great. I've also had so much in my inbox that last week's winner, I'll send you a message because Stephanie, I can't find your address, but I know that if I just key it in, I will get to it. So anyway, what I did want to share with you is also if you share this on your Facebook wall, you share this video, and more specifically, I'm going to add a little piece to it because we have Lifestyle by Laura J. That's my YouTube channel. Last week I made the major announcement that the YouTube channel is up. So I'm so thrilled to have that up. And what I want to do is try to get, when you share this video, versus sharing it just from here, if you hop over to the YouTube channel or at least reference the YouTube channel for people to take a look, you'll get a chance to enter the bigger prize. And let me tell you, the big prize is our new seasonal shake, and it's a re-release. So I don't know if you caught some of my posts earlier this week, but it's the peach mango. And I've got to tell you, it's one of my favorites, and it was so sad I didn't order enough the last time it was released. So this time, not this girl's got plenty coming. So let me show you what it looks like. And last week's show, the person who shared this video on their wall is Miss Georgia Ray. So Georgia, I think you get one of these coming to you. So that's how you win. You go ahead, and Georgia, you get a chance to still you can do the mocha if you prefer, or you want the peach mango. So I'll give you that choice because I still have a few of those from the mocha that are available. So let's get cooking. Okay, so this soup is so extraordinary, and if you could smell the garlic that's in this house, what I did is I went ahead and roasted the garlic that's going to go into the soup. And so you'll see it here. It's still kind of warm for me to touch this glass, so I'm just letting it meld in the juices. I just put some extra virgin olive oil right in there, and I put them in the oven. And I just did it at 325 degrees until they got a little al dente. I think when you roast your garlic, it maximizes such a beautiful, more of like a buttery garlic flavor versus something that's really hot. So I prefer for soups and stews and things that you've seen me do this with, this pasta sauce especially. It's just such a better flavor, so wonderful. So let's go ahead and start with what I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some liquid first in both containers. And what we're working with is we're working with bone broth. My preference when you're making a soup is always to use a bone broth, especially, just pretty much anything, just because it's just so wonderful. And I'm gonna show you the one I use. And then if you choose not to use a bone broth, you can use like a regular chicken stock. But what I love about certain chicken stocks, or whatever you choose to use, is you want to look with one that has no salt, no MSG, and if you can find one also that is no GMO, that would be wonderful. But sometimes you can't always find that. The other thing you want to look at is how many added sugar. So you want to read your labels. Sugars are really important, especially the kinds of sugars that are in some processed food. So this is, you know, no sugars, it's no GMO, and it's just wonderful. And the other thing I love, the fact that it has very low sodium, super low sodium content. So I'm going to turn that off just 1 second. So sorry about that. Oh, I know. So I have had the comment once before, you need to be a little bit more organized. Today has been one of those days. Have you ever had a day like that? I'll talk about it in a little bit later, but it's just been one of those days that I haven't been able to be completely organized, just having come home from our trip and so forth. So I'm gonna start with the liquids, and you wanna have 32 ounces, and you may end up having more than that. So buy a little extra, and I'm gonna put an equal amount of both the bone broth and the chicken stock into the container. And that's about half. And then I'm gonna do another bone broth. And I'll finish off with bone broth because you wanna have your vegetables completely covered. And you're gonna wanna have 32 ounces, usually of the liquid. That's how it's gonna work. Just beautiful. I wish, again, we had smell-o-vision. And I don't know if you're catching on right now. I'd love a little bit of love to say, hey, Laura, you figured out how to go wide. Oh, I went onto the YouTube channel after we got them, the videos uploaded that we've done so far. And again, that's the YouTube channel. Just type in Lifestyle by Laura J, and you'll be able to see all our videos. But what's crazy about them, so I'll apologize, and we can recreate some of those as we progress in the year because they're vertical, and so it doesn't look so great. The horizontal is so much better, I get it. All right, so what we're going to talk about is the first part. We're going to add cabbage. So I took a head of cabbage and I made it into 1-inch chunks. And cabbage is so yummy. When you have cabbage in the soup, it's just beautiful. So I'm just gonna divide this equally into each container, because what happens is a lot of these vegetables end up cooking down, but you don't wanna have too much of one ingredient. There we go. Ah, beautiful. Okay, I can always add more, but I can't take away. The next thing was we picked up some if you caught the Come Shop With Me, you saw that we picked up some parsnips and some carrots. Now, a lot of people like to use turnips, and turnips are okay as well, so you can do either or. And if you love both of them, you know, feel free, add them. So I've got some carrots and parsnips all chopped up in here, and so I'm going to divide these out as well. I do have an extra container just in case we want to add a few more. I'm kind of a carrot and parsnip kind of girl. I love them. Beautiful. And the next item we have is celery. So we just want to get about, you know, again, depending on how big your cooker is, you just want to have the celery. And I leave it pretty chunky. I like it chunky because this is the kind of soup that you really want to have a long time to chew and eat, and just, yeah, yummy. So there we go. Love that. And the next thing we have is we have some fresh green beans. Now, if you don't have fresh green beans because it's the time of the year, it's just they're not available, you know, you can use the can. But remember, you want to do cans that are with no bisphenol A, because that's a hormone disruptor and it's not good for you. More toxins in our body, and we don't want to have that. Oh, I love that. It looks so gorgeous, so beautiful. And the next thing we're going to have is we're going to use some zucchini. And I've gone ahead and sliced these up. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them in. definitely it does look like we're going to need to add a lot more liquid, especially in this slow cooker. And then we have some radish and we have some onion. So I've gone ahead and got those all sliced up. And the onion is just so fresh. Oh, I love it. Beautiful. And then we have some mushrooms that we're going to have. Now I've added 2 different types of mushrooms to this. I love the little baby portobello mushrooms, and so they're kind of in the bottom. I've got baby portobello and I've got regular. So we're going to go ahead and put those in. When those cook down, they're just so yummy. And you can choose the next ingredient what you like, but I really like in a hearty soup like this with all these incredible vegetables is kale. Now the difficulty is when I was preparing some of this, I thought, you know, I probably should have blanched the kale a little bit because it would have given a little little more volume. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And you just take a couple bunches of your kale and just like that and just spread it in. And it will cook down really amazingly, but it does take up a lot of room if you don't blanch it. But that'll be okay. You can always blanch it after you get your soup going and then have it later, have it extra. Because that's what I actually do with the spinach. So I have spinach here, but I'm not going to add the spinach actually to the soup while it cooks, especially in the Instant Pot because it really gets, you know, it's the pressure cooker. So I'm going to save the spinach, and when I actually serve it, what I'm going to do is heat it up just a smidgen so that it can be the way that we serve it on top. And we'll actually serve it on top with a lime. But I'll put that in the comments so that you'll be able to see it. And we can't have a soup without, in my opinion, any jalapenos. So I didn't get a chance to chop these up. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I don't know about you, when you get back from a vacation, it's so difficult to get your rhythm. And this week has just been an explosive week just because we've had so many people get started on this journey. We've had some major accomplishments for people who are on the team, which I love. And you can see, well, I haven't posted all of them. I got to post Meredith, so you'll see Meredith's her journey where she started. And let me tell you, she's a rock star. She's doing just fabulous. But we have so many people to be able to talk about. But she was one that went public. The other ones have not gone public completely. So you gotta just kind of have to wait and see when they're ready. So the next thing, and I love these tomatoes. Oh my gosh, when you see how gorgeous they are, I just can't wait to show you. We have 3 other things that we're going to be adding, and it's going to be some sliced peppers. But these tomatoes are beautiful. Just look how gorgeous these are. Aren't they just splendid? So they're so fresh, and they're very, very juicy. I just need to get my tomato knife, and we're gonna just cut them and slice them up and dice them. That's what we're gonna do, and they're gonna just be spectacular. So you know, like I said, we've had just a crazy week. Today couldn't even have been more crazy. And that's for another story, another time. But there were lots of lessons to have been learned today. And trust me, I learned many. It was just crazy, 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 crazy. Ah, this tomato is just so beautiful. I'm going to hold it up for you to see. Look how gorgeous that is. Ah, and just put it right up on top. The only other thing about tomato, if you like to have a lot of tomato, you can actually have some canned tomato to add some of the juices if it's not juicy enough for you with the ones that you get. But because I got the heirloom tomatoes, these are really so full of juice. So I really don't think that they will fail us on this particular recipe whatsoever. Oh, just so gorgeous. And so I put about, I'm gonna put about 4 tomatoes, 3 to 4 tomatoes in each one. I'm dividing them up the way that I am because each one of these tomatoes is a little different. So I want to make sure that all of the goodness of each heirloom is included, if that makes sense. I love soup, and I love this particular soup for a specific reason. Because in our health and wellness program, we have opportunities where we have snacks. And what I love about this soup is so versatile. No matter what you want to add to it, like if you're pulling it out, it'll freeze really well. But if you're pulling it out and you can just add just about anything to it. It's just that great. And you can use it as a standalone. Maybe you're hungry and you've already had your snack and you need something that's just a little go-to. That's what I really love about that. Okay, so we've got 2 of these guys. Oh, they're so beautiful. Just wait till you see this one. It's not as good as center cut, but it's so juicy. This recipe is so simple. It takes more time to cut up the items that you're putting in than it is to cook even. But what's nice about the Instant Pot is you're going to be able to put this right on the soup setting, and you may even decide, and I'll document the progress of how it cooks up. But if you put it on the soup side and everything cooks down a little bit more, the neat thing about it is you can actually add more to it and cook it a little bit longer. Just because you'll lock in all of those great, delicious flavors. Okay, we are getting full. There's like no more room at the end. So the only thing I'm going to add are some sliced peppers. I'll get one of each flavor in here. Do a green and a red. Save those scraps for later, and we'll get an orange. And for these, the peppers, it's really neat if you just kind of keep them in nice long, slender, and that cuts, and then cut the slender cuts in half one time, because then they'll be perfect for your spoon. There we go. And yes, if you ask the question about the jalapenos, keep the seeds in. That is, of course, if you like it just a little bit spicy. And in my household, we like spice. So fresh. I don't know if you can even hear that, but it's just so fresh. Now this green pepper, what's really neat about it is it's a smaller one. So you almost could leave the cut to be like no cut. But we're going to go ahead and do a little cut just so that they're all consistent. And then we have the red. And then the final thing that we're going to do is we're just going to add the spices. So there's our red, beautiful red pepper. And I've got some great spices that we've got for this particular recipe. Seems kind of an interesting dynamic to be making this soup for summertime. But believe it or not, this soup is excellent cold as well. Okay, so let me go ahead. Yeah, I can touch that. We're going to add several heaping spoonfuls of the garlic. Maybe save some for tonight's dinner. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to have soup for dinner tonight. I'm actually going to be making a tuna, so a seared tuna should be fabulous with some of these extra vegetables that I have here. And now we want to throw in some fresh basil. And this, because of the way the soup is, we're just going to go ahead and just throw it in. I'm going to take the stem off and we'll just let it be really large because we're using it as a really beautiful spice. And I'm not going to cut into it because it's all going to cook down. Keep it whole. And then we also have some cilantro. And the cilantro, what I want to do with that is I definitely don't want to have the stems in it. So I'm going to grab my scissor, and this one I am going to snip in because I don't want the stems and I just want those beautiful leaves. Ah, I just love how cilantro smells when you cut into it. And now remember, if you join me for the first time, we use our scissors on a lot of our herbs, fresh herbs, because it releases the zest when you cut right into them, and if you're doing it right over what you're serving or what you're putting in, it just sprays that zest right all over, which I love that. Okay, now it's time for our wonderful, wonderful spices. So I always use cumin in everything, so we're gonna just go ahead and do that, and I'm just gonna pour in. I don't measure, I've never measured, but I use about a tablespoon. If those of you who are really serious about measuring. Okay. We're going to use some Cajun seasoning. I love Cajun seasoning. And again, all of my seasonings, when I buy them at the store, I buy non-GMO. And you can always look for that little label right there. Oh, right there. Okay. And I have some turmeric. So we'll go ahead and add a little turmeric. Beautiful. And we're going to use a mixture of Dano's spice. Oops. So I'm going to use a little bit of both of Dano's. Take a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love cooking with the slow cooker and the Instant Pot, I gotta tell you. And I think I've got, I probably have, I don't know, 10 messages from different people, how much they're enjoying their Instant Pot and how they're excited that they got one. And they got their ingredients for the first time, so they're gonna actually cook with us. So, and then I'm gonna do a little pink Himalayan salt, because this really has no salt whatsoever. So I'm going to just put that on liberally. I love pink Himalayan salt. So good for you. And now you can see, if you can see inside, and I can pick it up a little bit, it's really, really full. The Instant Pot is, and the Crock Pot is. So I'll show you. So what we want to do is we want to get as much liquid as we can without exceeding the line. So I'm going to finish up with putting in as much bone broth as I can. And that's why you want to start with the liquid, especially on the Instant Pot on the bottom. If those of you who have caught the spaghetti sauce recipe, you will have seen that. And those that caught the lasagna recipe, that was something that I failed to do. I had a really bad sticky pot at the end because I didn't put a baseline sauce at the bottom. So don't make the mistake that I made. This is just such a garden full of vegetables. It looks so beautiful. And before I top off the lids, what I will do is take a picture so you can actually see it. All right. I'm just seeing if there are any questions that I might have missed. Oh, if you could smell the garlic as this is going over on the top. It's just so beautiful. So I have these beautiful tuna steaks that I got down the street at I'll someday we'll go visit our market down the street for our fish. But it's just the most amazing place. And most of the fish is caught by our local fishermen here in St. Augustine. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I'm still not completely to the level that I want to see. So I really want to get the vegetables covered as much as I possibly can up to the edge of where the fill line is, especially in the Instant Pot. Because as soon as it gets hot and it starts to do the pressurization, these vegetables will really shrink down. So we want to have as much liquid as we possibly can. And so, I don't know if you caught last week's show, but we did a special airing on the island. And we were so hoping, as we were planning it, that we were not going to run out of power. Because last week when we were on the island, we lost so much power. There's some kind of a grid issue going on in the Bahamas. And it's actually all the Bahamian Islands are experiencing it. So we just set the magic wish and prayers, and it went off without a hitch, and it was so much fun. So I'm looking forward to doing some more guest appearances like that. I think it'll be just wonderful. So much fun to bring in a different chef, to come up with some great ideas of what we could be doing and different techniques. I started lining one up here in the community. It's a secret. We won't tell about it until it happens. Oh my gosh, it just smells heavenly. I think I'll get one more in the slow cooker. And I have the slow cooker on high. So I believe this is going to take 2 hours to cook in the slow cooker. It could possibly take a third. So you're just going to have to feel out your vegetables and how you want, what is the crispness of them that you want. You're going to be freezing it. So let me just take my glasses and take a look. I think that I can put in a little bit more. So we'll put a little chicken stock in. Okay. And then we are ready to go. So what I'm going to do before I actually put the lids on and get them started, I'm going to take a picture, so I'll stop the video, and I'm going to take a picture of the actual container so you can see how gorgeous it is. And I just think you're going to love this recipe. Now remember, if you choose not to make this a negative calorie soup, you can always add some chicken, your favorite meats. It's really yummy with just about anything. But again, our purpose was to make it a negative calorie soup for you all today. And I'm dying to have it. As soon as I saw this recipe, I posted a recipe that I was going to cook last week, I think it was. And then I saw some article on negative calories, vegetables. And I thought, well, you know what? I think that's exactly what we should be doing. Just to have some extra fun with that. So I want to thank everyone for coming and visiting. I will, in the comments below, you will see the finished products. Again, when you put your Instant Pot on, you're going to use your setting for soups. If you don't have a soup setting, I would go 15 to 20 minutes if you don't have a soup setting, okay? And then for your crock pot, your slow cooker, whichever one you're using, you're going to want to use 3 hours to start, and then just keep an eye on 2 to 3 hours. Keep an eye on where your vegetables are and how you like that. So, okay. With that, I want to say thanks for joining us on our show. Remember, if you go to Lifestyle by Laura J on YouTube, just go to YouTube and click in a search engine and say Lifestyle by Laura J. You'll be able to see all of our other videos that are out there, including this one when we are finished. And if you share any of those and you share them on your wall, you'll get entered to win the seasonal shake as well as some spices. So, and then anytime you're watching, you just want to say where you're from and say hello, I'll be sure to get a message back to you. Any questions that you have, feel free to just connect with me. Thank you for joining the show. I hope you have a beautiful, splendid weekend and enjoy this soup. Okay, see you later.